Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic, it's been a couple of days, but we need to address Trump's deal of the century. And this was released on January 28th, 2020. We are now February 1st, 2020. And Trump has revealed his deal of the century to address the Palestinian Israeli conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is on board with the plan. And I'm not going to go into a lot of the specifics of it, but for those of you who want to read the complete document, I do have a link provided right here, whitehouse.gov, 2020-01 Peace to Prosperity. It's in a PDF. I think it's 181 pages. But what I did want to include are maps of a future Palestine and a future Israel if the Palestinians would be agreeable to sign the deal. So we're just going to hit the highlights of this. And again, for all the specifics, click on the link, check out the plan. I can't say that I read all of it, but it's pretty easy reading. It does provide a narrative and a historical perspective of what's going on obviously from the standpoint of Trump and, well, mostly Kushner. Kushner's read 25 books about it. So the main thing is you see all these bridges and tunnels, and they would connect Palestinian lands. Now, Trump says Jerusalem itself would remain undivided. And I know there's a lot of Christian folks out there who are like, well, Trump's dividing the land. Well, yes, I get this, but this thing, frankly, is dead on arrival. But there will be a plan. We'll talk about that later, where the land does get chopped up. But this one, if anything, Israel's getting more land. So, the land's still divided. Jerusalem is not divided, but the Israelis get more land. One of the complaints of the Palestinians is like, hey, you did a nice job of coloring in all that blue, but the reality of it is even the blue is divided where it appears to be more contiguous. So Israel gets more land in this deal that Trump has offered. East Jerusalem would be the capital of a future Palestine, and that's mostly this little speck right there, if you can see it. They're not getting much of it. It's East Palestine. It's not even considered, or East Jerusalem. It's not even considered Jerusalem itself. No change in the religious sites, with the stipulation, all Muslims who come in peace will be welcome to visit and pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. So there's a comment to look. These are holy places. They're not places to come riot and set stuff on fire, cause trouble. We're interested in people who want to come in peace and genuinely worship. There's a high-tech industrial manufacturing zone. That's this area right here, south of what is the Gaza Strip in the Negev. This whole region, Negev, that's the south of Israel. High-tech and manufacturing industrial space that the Palestinians would get. Residential agricultural area would be provided further south, where Palestinians would have the ability to grow food. This is a game changer for everybody right here. Israel maintains control of all borders. Israel will be responsible for the security of all borders. So essentially, the Palestinians would have to demilitarize. Hamas would have to go away and be no more. Now, they're never going to agree to that. And Israel will manage security from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. So, when you look at this, Israel's responsible for the security of this land right here. Follow my cursor. They don't need any Palestinian assistance, according to this plan. And again, there's just no way they're going to agree to this. And of course, they said no to this. The Palestinians said no. Not that they've said yes to anything for over 70 years, but they originally said no. And today it came out the Arab League joined them. Turkey's not agreeable to it. It's the usual suspects. Now, what is interesting is the Sunni Muslims to the south, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, those folks are willing to listen. Jordan is in that camp. So there is a group of Sunni Muslims now versus the group of Sunnis in the north headed by Turkey and Erdogan, the Muslim Brotherhood crew. They're opposed to it, but those south of Israel, so Jordan, Egypt, and the Saudis, which off the map, but you get the point. The southern alignment of nations are more agreeable, willing to listen, and at least recognize Israel as a sovereign country, and a lot of that has to do with Iran. But that's a discussion for another day. Now, I'll tell you what I did do. I took this from the Middle East Eye, and this is Trump's Middle East plan. Middle East Eye is a Middle East publication, media site, and it is from the perspective of that part of the world. I do think this is worth your watch and listen, just so you can see how these folks are seeing this peace plan. Again, my point's not to say, hey, I endorse the way they see it, but my point is to open everybody's eyes to look, this is how these people see things in this part of the world, and this is the perspective that they're looking at it from. So it's a few minutes, so maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes at the most. Definitely worth your listen and watch. Just click on it. It's got some nice headlines. And also you can follow these folks, twitter.com, Middle East Eye. And again, the Palestinians have rejected the plan. The United Nations has rejected the deal. The Arab League rejected it. Turkey's against it. Abbas, the Palestinians are against it. Got a couple of other links. Middle East Eye reveals Trump's deal of the century, future map Palestine. That's where I pulled these two maps from. They have an article written. Also, Jerusalem Post. I got an article from the perspective of Israel, or from at least the press there. Now, I'm sure they have some differences in opinion, like we do here in the States, liberal, conservative, etc., from their corner of the world. So that'd be worth watching, looking at as well. Again, I try to pull stuff from different parts of the world, just different perspectives, so you can see how all these things come together. And I'm going to close with Daniel 9:27. And he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week. And for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. So prophetically speaking, this is not the covenant. This is not the deal. For starters, look at the context of this. There's no temple. Okay, so Daniel 9:27 put an end to sacrifice and offering. I mean, and on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate, until the decree is in and poured out on the desolator. Jesus talks about that, and the Antichrist goes into the temple and presents himself as God. So there's no temple in place, and there's no sacrificial system consistently in place. Now, don't get me wrong, the modern day Sanhedrin's doing some things during the feasts of the Lord, but they're not doing a daily sacrifice that's public. There's no temple to do that in, and there's no timeline in Trump's plan. And the covenant above in Daniel 9:27 is for 1 week or a set of 7 or 7 years. So this isn't the deal. I mean, it's interesting. It's worth watching. And Trump is far from a loved figure that the Antichrist will be. So we're just not there yet. But anytime people start talking peace, it is worth mentioning, worth noting, and worth paying attention. So if you enjoy this stuff, please feel free to check out the post and the blog, PaulthePoke.com, right up here. Please feel free to share that with others. If you're interested, you can type in your name. There's a blank spot where you can type in your email address and get a notification every time we put something out. And then also, this is going to be noted under categories in the far right column under the peace plan. I mean, it's not the peace plan, but it falls under the guise of a peace plan. And so as we get there, we're probably going to have some other folks come forward with some peace ideas, and then we start seeing things that look more like Daniel 9:27, and we see things that have a 7-year timeline. that will catch my eye. We catch a peace plan that talks about, okay, the Jews get a temple. That will be a big deal. But until we see those things, until we get, I mean, the temple is the super sign of the end times from my perspective. And we may or may not see that depending on your view. I'm open to either side of it. But it's worth watching. It's worth noting. Interesting times. January 2020, off to a crazy wild start. All kinds of things happening from all kinds of perspectives and directions. And we have plagues of locusts. We have disease. We have pestilence. We're taking out military leaders. I mean, a peace plan has been offered. It's been a busy month. So appreciate you guys following. If you enjoy the stuff, please feel free to share with others. Appreciate you following. Have a great day. Bye.